Hello and welcome everybody to the final day of WCS Valencia North American Challenger and Qualifiers. My microphone was a little low there. It's early over here in Katowice, another 2 a.m. broadcast for us. Yesterday was a lot of fun, Todd. We had, I think, a lot of hectic, but the way that we ended yesterday was just sick. I hope we see more games like that.
Yeah, well, it's going to be hard because that was action-packed and epic till the end. It's funny because today we came in and in my mind, Neeb was almost eliminated. I was like, we lost Neeb yesterday, didn't we? And I was like, no, actually, no. He barely survived against Pili and then still made it to that very important qualifying match here today that we're going to have up first. That's going to be against True, against whom he has a huge winning record. And yeah, super excited for this.
Yeah, I think yesterday there were so many things that we could talk about forever. We had MaSa's run, 9-0. Who could have seen that coming? Yeah. I mean, we know he's good, but damn, 9-0. Let's just take a look at the bracket yesterday if you weren't able to catch the entire broadcast. And after that, we can go ahead and straight jump into the games. This was our opposite bracket. In the first round, I think things went kind of the way we expected, but then we saw MaSa have the 3-0 victory over Neeb. A lot of short games, a lot of proxies, but it was incredibly impressive. Jon Snow and Pili had an incredibly fun series as well with that ridiculous game that you were in on the Sequencer. I think we casted 3 ZVZs while that was going on.
Yeah. These were almost like separate games. Like a carrier army equals a ZVZ apparently by the time it takes to kill it. And apparently Jon Snow could do the impossible and beat the carrier armies in that case.
But then going up against MaSa, unfortunately, Jon Snow didn't have his best performance. It was a pretty one-sided series. He said it as well, but we all know that he's capable of so much more. Of course, Jon Snow, one of the players that we'll see in action today. Let's just take a quick look at the other side of the bracket. This was the lower part of the upper bracket. Scarlett, pretty smooth sailing, was struggling a tiny bit against True, but yeah, Scarlett also kind of felt like she didn't want to waste too much time yesterday. Thought it was a lot of early pulls, a lot of aggression, and she got the job done.
Yeah, she did an interview actually with Wax Angel where she talked about how with the delay she has to adjust her style a little bit, hence why we're seeing some of these cheeses, which to be honest have worked out so well that I feel like delay or not, she should use them maybe even offline when it's going to be the case. So looking forward to her series against MaSa, which already started. I'm going to be keeping you guys posted on that one. And in the lower bracket, the oh-so important qualifying matches here, best of 5s between True against Neeb and then Jon Snow against Pils. This is what it's all about. These guys have been thinking about it all night, you know, tweeting about how they might be going to Spain or not, like depending on the result of this match.
And you know what happens in Spain, Todd? Lots of amazing StarCraft.
I thought you were going to say it stays in Spain.
Oh, well, I mean, that might be true for some stories, but tapas and sangria, Todd. It's not all about StarCraft. It's a little bit about that cultural experience as well. So the way we're going to do it today is just one time we're going to have 2 series going on at the same time. MaSa versus Scarlett, the upper bracket final, has started already. Todd will keep you guys posted. We're going to hop into Neeb versus True, because that is a big match. The winner will guarantee itself that all expenses paid trip to Valencia, and of course WCS points, money, but top 4, Todd. That's what it's all about.
Exactly, yeah. All of these guys, they would have a long trip, and to pay for themselves would be pretty expensive, even if I'm sure they have a team that could send them there. So I think we're about ready here. Let's go into True versus Neeb, game number 1. And I'll try to keep you guys posted on MaSa versus Scarlett, which was already almost 4 minutes into game 1.
And my Protoss heart, Todd, is already skipping a beat or 2. I am sure that you're in the same place as we are loading into Defender's Landing. I think it's safe to say a map where Protoss does have a pretty hard time against Zerg. But let's see how this man is going to do it. I think he was on the verge of being eliminated like 4 times yesterday against Pili, but he showed amazing resistance. It is Neeb, of course, representing Ting.
And his opponent in the blue, playing for Team Storm Gaming, it's of course True.
Already a much better performance out of this young man that's living in America, disqualified, and the last one. The last one, it really felt like, oh my god, what has happened to True? But I was looking at the WCS rankings, which I often don't even pay that close attention to, because I always feel we're early in the year, but it's safe to say after Jan shopping, we're not anymore, and that's when those rankings truly become important.
Yeah.
But True actually did pick up a lot of points, obviously, with his run at Austin. So it's not like he's having a terrible year, it's just pretty inconsistent is what it feels like.
Yeah. You mentioned that, you know, he's scored a lot of points, but I'm a little bit worried for True going to this series because he has a 2-12 record against Neeb, and their last 7 encounters happened all this year, and Neeb won all of them. So if you look at these kind of stats, it's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, but like, Neeb's not playing so well right now, and True's playing so well. That's not true at all. Like that's almost like the opposite. So I'm a little bit worried here for True. And I mean, he's had all night here to think about this, to do some brainstorming, to study Neeb's VODs, to do some voodoo incantations that are gonna give him some luck here. I don't know, but it's gonna be tough, I think, for him.
Yep. Of course, I think in the past, some of these maps were a little bit better for Protoss, and especially, I mean, we all know True, right? We know where he excels, we know what he loves to do. It's a lot of early game aggression, and most of the time it's just a silly amount of units. That's what True does, but behind those silly amount of units, he actually often has a decent economy. One thing that is often lacking, though, is his tech. He likes to stay on links, likes to stay on banelings. And with this current map pool, I don't know what Neeb vetoed, but there's a good chance we might see Blood Boil as well, even though that seems like a nightmare against somebody like True. Maybe this is going to be a little bit better for us, Zerg. Wrapping Sidestorm Gaming. So far, Neeb is obviously playing very careful. He is scouting though, sending his first adept to the other side of the map. And he spots that everything is quite normal. We see the follow-up is a Twilight. Now, normally thought, I'm not surprised to see a Twilight follow-up. It's pretty common. But on a map like Defender's Landing, I feel every single time I see a quick Twilight, I see a bunch of roaches running across the map and killing the Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, it's Neeb we're talking about, though. Is that he has one of the best defenses out there, and seeing the Robo start right after the Twilight, we usually know from there what's coming. And it's going to be the Dark Shrine and additional gateways. I already saw one extra gate starting at least. And yeah, Dark Templar openers with 2 or 4 gates are still up in the air as one of the good builds that you can do up against Zerg. And on this map, I think it could be really nice. Like, it's going to force True to, a lot of the time, going to roaches. Defending with pure links, it's really tough.
Yeah, we know that he somehow still likes to do that, though. True is a crazy player. And often when he makes roaches, it's like, all right, you forced me to make a roach warren. If this is what you want, this is what you get. And then you just see him run across the map with 160 supply of pure roach, maybe more for a couple of them.
And queens. Yeah, yes. I remember not too long ago, every time you were casting a True game, you're like, all right, guys, disclaimer, this guy likes to make queens and he likes to go across the map with them and attack. And that was true, actually, in a lot of his games. Like, kept on happening time after time. It's become a little bit less popular and people have gotten a lot better against it, but it's something that kind of fell out of fashion. So maybe, you know, Neeb is maybe a little bit rusty against it. Yeah. Then again, against a Dark Shrine opener, I don't think it will be that good. Like, yeah, it really doesn't feel like there's any window you can hit before they're out.
No, a good point there. I wasn't even thinking about it, but you're right. True used to be the absolute front runner when it came to the March of the Queens. Defender's Landing is a pretty small map, so maybe he's going to go back to his roots, and we'll keep a close eye on that production tab.
Maybe we can check out my game here for a little bit.
Yeah.
We could have done that during that whole time, but because MaSa against Scarlett is ongoing right now, and MaSa went for a lot of Reapers, actually, out of 3 barracks, and he's been staying aggressive. He's lost a lot of them. As you can see, 19 Reapers died. He traded against Zerglings, got a hatchery and a bunch of drones. And he finds himself with a supply leads. MaSa, remember, he hasn't lost the map yet. Like, sure. Actually, what's more impressive? Scarlett winning the previous challenger or MaSa going 9-0 in this one so far?
They're both amazingly impressive, but
it's the clash of titans.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but the most important thing here for MaSa is that he already secured his slot, and from now on he can just show off even more. He was on fire yesterday. We see him moving forward. This is
look at the army.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty impressive Terran army. But Scarlett is pretty damn good when it comes to engaging with banelings.
There's a lot of banelings here. Pick up. Oh, he has 2 medivacs only. Well, a bunch of Marines will be sacked. Setting up on the left-hand side. Okay, taking that base would have been a big mistake there, because there would have been a siege from down there. So at least it's there here for Scarlett. But the creep spread was denied a little bit through all that. And it's going to be as well here on the other side, as MaSa keeps on getting his upgrades, extending his supply leads. And eventually, he's going to be pushing through, I'm sure. It's funny, because like, you know, like Zergs, they really like cross-map positions on a lot of maps and stuff, and longer rush distances, but it feels like most Terrans nowadays, they almost don't care as much about that anymore. Like, they've just gotten so good. Even though you need to do damage against Zerg nowadays. Like, that's what I keep hearing about from Terrans, about how you can't let a Zerg you know, stay in peace. You need to be aggressive.
A couple of STVs being brought along as well. I wonder if that's on purpose or a mistake. These mutas have been picked off on the right side. That is an uncharacteristic mistake for Scarlett, who is going to be able to clean this up perhaps. But he's losing a lot of banelings in the process though. And the Mighty Tor is here as well. MaSa is able to pick it up. That medevac was super low, I think, that picked up the Tor. You know, even though Scarlett is evening out the supplies, I feel that MaSa is doing a good job keeping Scarlett at roughly 68 drones,
Yeah.
which is actually not what Scarlett wants. For a lot of Zerg, that would be good, but we all know that Scarlett feels comfortable at above 80, where she can just make an insane amount of Lynx Banes and just keep all these trades, keep all these fights.
She has a bunch of weird rallies. Like I saw Muda not moving down there for a second, and then now these were like kind of in the main. Maybe she's feeling the pressure here of MaSa. I'm a little bit surprised we don't see more Widow Mines and Thors. Like, it's a different way to play the TVZ than what we usually see with the Widow Mines.
As MaSa is going to march across the map one more time. That hive tag right now, it started. Off with them. Ooh, those medevac's a little bit out of position. One medevac does get picked off immediately. But at least he's going to get a Muda for his efforts.
It finally resumed the other game?
Yeah. All I had to do, by the way, was drop Naruto. I didn't know it was on
Oh,
me.
it was you?
Yes.
Oh, because they made you ref again. I don't know why to do that. Couple of queens here. Going to be targeted. One goes down. The other one's going to escape. MaSa is staying active.
Game.
Yeah, very nicely, by the way. Ooh, that one sneaky medivac. Look at this. Can I go uncontested for a long time in there and might be able to get a lot of drones? MaSa is all over the place. He's removing creep. In the north, in the east.
Yeah, he's playing, once again, incredibly solid so far. But Scarlett's still hanging in there, and that hive tag has finished up. I think this
Bailing count is very low.
Yeah.
Only 5 against all of this.
She's going to need way more, that's for sure. Lings are good, but not against 2-2 Marines with +3 on the way as well. A couple Tours in the mix. It still feels like a lot of Zerg, though, Todd. Maybe the Marine count isn't high enough. The Tours are doing a pretty good job in tanking for quite some time, but Scarlett somehow pushes back this Zerg army with 5 Banelings.
Yeah, those Lings can be misleading. There are always the huge swarms of them. They're cleaning up here so far. The Thor is going to be left over. Whatever happened to the Mutas? He got rid of all of them? Yeah, there's no Mutas left. Oh my god.
Then maybe this was good enough in the end anyway.
14 Mutas died.
You gotta love those 2 Tours that were tucked away in the tiny corner there, having each
That guy's
other's
trapped.
back.
Look at him, he can't even move an inch.
He's gonna have to get picked up.
He might as well be like a tower down there. A big cannon tower.
Sometimes like when you mess up your Protoss build order and you have an adept stock, you're like, well, it's a mini cannon. A couple of Banelings will connect with these Marines. MaSa being pushed back, but he's still taking a pretty commanding supply lead.
Yeah, these Thors. Look at him, going to town. Might as well drop some mules and repair them, but MaSa, it looks like he's unstoppable still here in this challenger. 9-0 in maps, and I think he's about to go 10-0 against the defending champ Scarlett. There we go, wow.
Still undefeated, 10-0. How often do you see that in a WCS qualifier? We're going to go back into True vs. Neeb. I'm sorry if I was a tiny bit distracted. Kept a close eye on it. What did we miss? Well, you were right about the Dark Shrine opener. 2 Dark Templars tried to kill some drones on the other side of the map. They started working on the hatch, but they didn't really get the damage done that they were looking for. At the same time, True made quite a few links, dropped a couple in the main, didn't kill much. But while he was doing that, Todd, he sent a bunch of links to this Nexus, and he got a cancel once. So this is why Neeb is hovering, you know, or is perhaps like trailing a little bit when it comes to the supply.
Walkers, I'm looking at the walkers though, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
68 to 63, like if you let 2 minutes pass by, Neeb's going to be in a fantastic position and catch up on the army. But that's what True's not counting on. True wants to attack, make something happen before that. Luckily for Neeb, his War Prism is there with the Archons, because he's going to need that in the defense. It's going to be a tough one. Let's see those force fields.
It's so weird though that there are no Banelings in the mix. Forces are a little bit late. These sentries got picked off immediately. Guardian Shield is massive here though. Good War Prism micro as well. A couple of these Archons being saved. I think that Neeb should be able to hang in there.
He's the sickest Guardian Shield of all time here. Covering his units for such a long time. That first pylon was really exposed and got taken out, but second one's going to buy a little bit more time here for Neeb to get more Zealots, DTs for Archons, then charge having finished now is a big game changer as well. These Zealots are going to get right in there, and remember, they get a guaranteed slap in the face with their Psionic Blades.
It's just so odd to me that True is doing this without Banelings. Like obviously the numbers of Hydra Ling, if they're overwhelming, it can be hard to hold.
I think he's trying to get a critical mass of Hydra list, where you can like kind of move them back, reset the concave, like this. See, he's trying to sort of kite, which against Charge Lost and this much army is almost going to be futile. Links come in.
Tiny bit too late, I felt those links were a little bit late. He lost a lot of Hydras, but he's still going to get a nice wraparound. The Mothership Core is going to fall as well. And this is, in the end, still going to be very hard for Neeb. I felt that that sandwich came a little too late, but maybe it was still in time. That is the awkward warp in as well, right in the front of all these Hydras. All the Zealots get picked off, and True will actually take the 1-0 lead as well.
Wow, unexpected here. Again, Neeb 12-2 in encounters against True, and the 7 times they met this year, just this year alone, he was victorious. So now True taking the lead. That was impressive. I think like we were looking at this attack, and at first I thought Neeb was doing well, but I think he might have overextended, going a little bit too far. And like I said, like even though True was doing this without banelings, it's a different, very different attack than the one you do with Banes. The one you do with Banes kind of expires with the first push, whereas now you can just pull back, regroup with the next Hydralisks, and then when you get a critical mass that will basically kill everything eventually, that's when you're able to do enough damage. It's almost like the Stalker meme, you know, like the Wings of Liberty, like too much DPS.
Yeah, it just felt that the first hold was so incredibly solid. You said the Guardian Shield as well. That Guardian Shield lasted for the entire battle and covered like 3-4 Archons and an Immortal. That is massive. The insane amount of damage that you reduce at that point. It felt like it was good enough. I just think that, like you said, maybe Neeb overextended a tiny bit there. Maybe he got overconfident because True was hiding a lot of his units, right? Like it was depicting. Debated. And he was doing a good job, but I still felt he was losing so many Hydras in the process that I thought Neeb was going to be all right. But yeah, the extra reinforcements got the job done for True, who takes that 1-0 lead in that very important best of 5. This one is important, Todd, but True versus Neeb, obviously of a big
10 times more important.
Yeah. But I'm sure that MaSa would love to, you know, finally be a person that defeats Scarlett in a Challenger series, as Scarlett obviously has been on quite a roll as well, basically winning 7 best of 5s in a row.
Yeah, for Scarlett it's more important, I think. Or, I mean, to be honest, they both need more WCS points, but Scarlett even more so because she missed Austin. So definitely needs more of that. Obviously winning the first Challenger she participated in previously.
You know what's crazy
to go to Jönköping was helpful with that.
Almost nobody was talking about Elaser, you know, during Austin and after Austin. And then Elaser already told Nurture, I was sharing cab with him, and Nurture said, like, yeah, Elaser's not worried at all. He's finished school soon. He's going to be able to qualify for the next few events. He says 3 WCS events. That's all I need. That's more than enough. And I was thinking, it's like, man, you know, Elaser is pretty confident / cocky, but he's been living up to that. He wasn't sweating it at all, and now suddenly Elaser is back in the picture.
Where did the Reaper go? Oh, he's still chilling. Okay. Not coming back to clean up these links. I guess against speed he knows, like, he could die very quickly. So that's actually going to prevent here that second command center from mining for a little bit from Scarlett. But that was an investment here, getting those links.
Also, this drone very early on spotting that bunker was pretty useful for her.
Yeah.
We saw the other days what happens when MaSa's bunkers finish up.
She was purposely checking for it, making sure that does not happen. And now Scarlett in the zone, droning up as she wills.
Game 2 between Neeb and True is underway, but it's just the early stages and there is no cheese yet. So we can stay on this TVZ just a tiny bit longer. Got a tweet from Uthermal Todd. He's like, is anybody showing these games? I wonder if I should stay awake. I said, Todd's on the money. He got this. So Mark Sloppy out there, he's watching. He's trying to
and before we switch, and he's like, screw you guys.
He's done. We both checked Twitter. Uthermal unfollowed this. Unsubbed from the channel. Feels bad, man. Couple links gonna run into the natural. Gonna try to do a little bit of damage. Good job by MaSa. Well, MaSa's gonna have micro his Hellion though.
Yeah, I thought MaSa would target these links back there. But although like Scarlett could have maybe gone for some more SCVs one by one, but Scarlett seems to want to be really active actually with a lot of links. Like that first wave, that was nice. But like a lot of Zergs don't even do that, you know, that they just try to drone up as hard as they can. It's nice to see that Scarlett's trying to be aggressive, and that's actually keeping MaSa at home. That one Overlord right there is so sick, just because it sees pretty much everything moving out. And like MaSa pretty much knows it's there without even seeing it, so that's why it's so reluctant to actually move out right now.
I think going back to the previous game, once again, what MaSa did so well is obviously keeping up the pressure, which is something that a lot of Terrans do. But Scarlett often finds those windows to get those extra drones. And then instead of having 68 drones, you know, she's at 82. And she always has a ridiculous amount of bangs. And she also lost a couple mutas in the right bottom side last game. So just a couple of things were not clean enough for Scarlett. And obviously MaSa was playing an excellent game. Let's see if Scarlett is able to get away with the greed that we know she wants to get in this matchup this time.
Yeah, MaSa definitely looking to try and thin that drone count there. Gets a couple, 3. That one other Banshee as well. It's going to be getting right to work. Ooh, barely outside the range of that spore detection there. And Lair is only not even halfway through done actually. So nice from MaSa, finding a hole to do some damage.
Yeah, these cloak benches openings can actually be pretty solid against someone like Scarlett, who obviously stays on hatchery tag a tiny bit longer because he wants to get those upgrades out. He wants to get all those bases up and running and fully saturated. I kind of like how this is going for MaSa again.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to take a while before Scarlett is going to be able to hit her comfort zone.
Killed a bunch of drones. Wait, did that just restart? I thought he was like going way longer. I thought he should be halfway done by now. That's so weird.
I know, my eyes are not that good.
Well, to be fair, this setup is this is a little bit special here with the screens almost flat in front of us.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, considering the amount of games that we've had in the last 4 days, I think we did a pretty good job in catching most of what was incredibly important. Game
Looking
2.
at the supply. That's all we did.
All right, so MaSa's gonna have his first real move out soon. We could probably, maybe we could temporarily switch to my game before that push truly starts to happen.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, because obviously Neeb versus True is a very important series. So far, not too much has happened. 3 drones died against that very first adept, and the Oracle was able to pick up a kill or 2 as well. And after that, it got ushered out. I thought that Neeb was going to commit with his adapts, but then he canceled his shade, so he's just going to send it home. But just to give you guys a glimpse of what is happening, you know, Robo, 3 base, macro up, nothing too crazy yet.
I like that Neeb canceled that because I feel like nowadays every Zerg is ready against these adepts. So if you suicide them, then you basically open yourself up to, you know, some counter attacks, some more all-ins. Whereas if you keep them alive and you force Zergs to make the units already, there is no point in suiciding your own adepts. So I love that he kind of pulled back and, you know, he's kind of staying ahead of the curve by not committing when it wasn't going to work out.
Once again, no Baneling Nest for True. I am quite shocked to see this. In this day and age of ZVP, how many Zergs out there just do not make a Baneling Nest when they're going to go for Ling Hydra? It's getting missile attacks as well. So I think we're going to see a relatively similar game. I wonder if Neeb is going to switch it up and maybe try to rush out Storm this time, or maybe just get a couple of extra gateway units and maybe try to rely on the force fields, which should be a tiny bit easier on Abyssal.
It's quite interesting. We've seen quite a few Protosses skip on the sentries and try to go for Storm earlier. It makes it harder to hold all-ins, but it feels only if you're like one of the absolute best out there, like Neeb and Showtime, can you go for sentries and like use them as well as both of these two.
I feel like True is just gearing up for a massive attack that should be happening within a minute or so. A couple of these links are going to work on the rocks, going to clear this path. I wonder if... Seems like Neeb actually thought he's not going to rush out of 4th base. He's just going to sit on 3 bases for
which is rare for him. Yeah. I think he's fully aware of how True seems to want to play the series. By the way, MaSa is fully kicking into gear. If we could switch quickly. He's attacking all over the place currently and doing a ton of damage everywhere. Like there was a drop there that killed a bunch of drones. Like since we left this game, he's killed a whole lot of drones, damaged this hatchery with just 1 Banshee for the most part. Got a cancel on the goal. He's been everywhere. Like I've been having a hard time following this game.
If he is able to deny the 4th base of Scarlett one more time, that'd be massive. I mean, the 4th is up right now.
And we're back to Widow Mines.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with the map as well. Yeah. Maybe he felt Odyssey was better for Taurus.
A couple World of Thors in the corner.
Or Sequencer was better for Taurus, but now we have a couple mines in the mix.
Hiding behind the doorway.
Okay, this actually is going to be a little bit clutched out because it seems like in both games, big fights are about to happen.
Your series is more important. Like here we were just playing for, well, to be honest.
Well, this is a pretty important push over here by MaSa. Can he get the kill that he's looking for on this 4th base? It's going to be hard. The Baneling count wasn't really ready yet. MaSa's going to be able to get this snipe there. That is incredibly important. Those Bane connections were big though for Scarlett. But Scarlett, her economy, once again, thought this is not as good as he would like to have it.
Yeah, and now with the 4th base denied and MaSa taking his behind this, needed to evacuate, I think, probably before that. But he's got a lot of Widow Mines left over behind this. If he can get some good detonations here and clean as much as he can.
All right,
let's switch to your game.
Yeah, Martin, let's go back real quick. Scarlett's going to push that army back. This was that final attack by True. Force fields went down, but Neeb kind of exposed his army just a tiny bit too much. Yeah, I can rewind it a little bit. Yeah, Neeb actually did a great job in buying time with Zealots. And this is before any real fight has happened.
He moved out, though, right?
Yeah, he tried to catch his army. These Zealots, you look at this entire army of True was going back. Zealots bought a little bit of time. Then Neeb went down this ramp thinking that, you know, I can kill this.
Yeah.
I can kill this army.
Debated.
Yeah. Units were coming in again.
He was doing well at first, actually. If it had only been that, he would have cleaned up easily. It's very easy to underestimate Hydralisks, actually. They're so much scarier than they look.
They look pretty terrifying to me. My Zerg Nightmares thought they have Hydras in them.
Alright, we're back in MaSa against Scarlett, and MaSa again getting the deny on that fourth base while he secured his own Planetary Fortress on the way, and Scarlett is trying to hold on. I think she's gonna go for the gold, but again, there's something there. MaSa is just everywhere. His multitask is on point, his macros perfect. 3-3 on the way.
I think one of the key points there as well is during that push on the fort, not only was MaSa able to get to kill on the fort base, he also had enough units at home to deal with that pretty massive counter that Scarlett was standing across the map. So he had a lot of links and I think even a couple of mutas there as well. But MaSa just left enough units behind, and he has excellent Sim City as well, like you were highlighting.
Yeah, it's at least 2 turrets there, so Scarlett can go. I almost caught this Medivac randomly there, but gonna go for the main. There's enough Marines here. I know Thor to clean up and push this away here. And 2 turrets per base, that's brilliant, because MaSa knew that Scarlett loves to get big flock of mutas. Look at these 3 turrets! Oh my god, these mutas are gonna get wrecked!
I love how all the SCVs were standing there as well. It's like, try me. Please, please try. What you gonna do, Todd?
You'll do nothing.
Well,
that's what you'll do.
These mutas agreed with that as they left. MaSa still cleaning up a little bit of creep as well. The bailing count seems to be a little bit higher though this time around. Scarlett desperately trying to get a fort base up. Might be able to get a medevac for free there. I don't know if there's any stopping this army of MaSa. It seems like this Terran army...
I don't know if there's any stopping MaSa, period, to be fair at this point. Like, he's just playing out of his mind in this challenger. Canada, man.
+3 attack is done now as well. So I think that this will all come to... That is so many Zerglings. Yeah. That is ridiculous. How many mines are there in the mix right now?
4.
Ooh.
That's not a lot, but a lot of Marauders plus these Thors.
Yeah,
actually, it's 1 Thor now.
Marauders and Thors are great, but there's a lot of Bailings. This Terran army felt like it was
He's
really
always teaming,
clumped
by the way. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bates
are coming in from the south side as well. Don't forget about that. I don't think MaSa's going to be aware of this. A huge flank here by Scarlett, and this should be perhaps the fight that he was looking for. But a lot of those Marines on the top side are kind of well protected. There's still a few Banes left. Scarlett will be able to clean this up, but no, actually no. She's just going to tap out. I mean, I thought she could clean that up, but she's like, nope, too far behind. We've lost too much.
That army was 3-3. That's the problem. Like, it felt like even though Scarlett took the best fight she could take, stuff was dying too slow, even against the crazy amount of Ling and Banes that she had. So MaSa, man, he's unstoppable right now. He's going more than full Teja. He hasn't dropped a map.
11-0, ridiculous. What has MaSa been? It must be that poutine, Todd. He's been feasting that Canadian poutine.
Poutine is disgusting, mate. It's the maple syrup.
Maybe a little bit of both. All right, very, very important game over here. This time I think we're going to follow it all the way because it is match point. This man over here in the right bottom side has to win 3 maps in a row. Otherwise, he is eliminated from WCS Challenger. It is Neeb against an opponent that used to struggle against Neeb, but seems to have really found what he was looking for when it came to ZVP. It is Sidestorms Gaming's True. Top 2-0, just like that.
Maybe he was given a speech. He was given a pep talk. See that Lamborghini? It could be yours one day. You just gotta work hard and not for it. All right, fine, I got you. Goes up 2-0. And been looking pretty good, but I really feel like Neeb, we talked about how we thought he was adjusting, right, to the play of True, not rushing the 4th base. I think camping even more. If you know your opponent's gonna attack, what's the best thing you can do? Defend. Set up the perfect defense for what he's gonna throw at you and then defend it. But Neeb, it feels like at times, even though it seems like he wants to go for that, he can't help himself, but then move out somehow anyway. And he got jebaited in the previous game and paid the high price for it.
But to Neeb's defense, I can't even really fault him for it, Todd, because I was looking at that Hydra army that was working on those rocks near his natural, and I was like, yeah, he can clean this up. He can go ahead and clean this up. But, well, the reinforcements were just too much to deal with. In this game as well, Neeb tried to deny the 3rd base of True, and True is like, oh, okay. If you want to deny my hedge, that's fine. I'm going to take the gold.
Okay, we have a development here already in game 3 of MaSa versus Scarlett. MaSa proxied 2 racks to go for Reapers, and the Overlord of Scarlett spotted it, and she pulled back before revealing that she had seen it. And now she's already going for a Roach Warren to get Ravagers and Roaches to defend that. So, could be a really good thing for Scarlett. And actually, oh no, I didn't even see that right. She's going for the 1 base Roach Ravager. The one all-in that nobody seems to be able to defend.
So it's proxy against super
Against
fast.
the all-in. I think I would give the edge to Scarlett. I've never seen these builds clash, but...
Yeah, Ravagers are incredibly good against Reapers because of their range.
And MaSa is actually going Marines, even though he was mining gas.
Well, they're also pretty good in cleaning out bunkers and any sort of contain.
He's starting a bunker now, yeah. He wants to go for some sort of counting.
If you want to take a look, as soon as the Ravagers are out, maybe we can jump to your game real quick.
Yeah, we've got time.
Where now we see True already producing 24 Zerglings, start of 45 drones. He has saturated the gold base pretty decently. He's got 10 drones on it. He's going to get a Spore Crawler there as well. Dark Shrine has finished up for Neeb. This is really important. This is almost like do or die for Neeb. It's really important that his Dark Shrine opening finds a window of opportunity to do something. The problem is, though, True goes to layer that fast that he doesn't make a baiting nest, he doesn't make a roach one, he doesn't make those units.
Yeah.
So he always has overseers. Oh, actually the Spore got cancelled. But yeah, True has enough links, especially with that gold.
Yeah, he needs to follow that prism here very closely. Having the Mutascarpes. Look at the speed on that thing.
Okay, this is actually pretty good for Neeb. True is wondering right now, where did this prism go?
Man.
He's going to find it in his main.
MaSa's bunker is containing Scarlett for a very long time, and in the meantime, he's getting a factory at home for tanks. I don't know if they will be out on time, though. Oh, he sneaked away with 2 Marines. I feel like both games there's stuff happening for once, which is rare. Like before, usually we always got lucky with the timings, but right now I kind of want to... We should get a picture-in-picture eventually.
Oh, we'll get that, Todd. You know, this is only the beginning. We're just experimenting over here. A little bit of Archon drop. We're going to be able to pick up a couple of links, but look at all these Zerglings running to the other side of the map. True is going to look to cancel the third base of Neeb, or maybe go for a run by. There's no DPS in his Stalker. If he starts working on this ramp, that could have been very gnarly. There is a Mothership Core here, though, but True is not going to respect the overcharge.
Yeah.
He's going to jump on top of this pilot.
Overcharge is good, but it's not that good. And the depths are going to be surrounded here in between those minerals and going down.
It's a big warping now in the main as well. Instead of
oh, these Archons, they were very well placed. They're actually, Hydralists come out now, and True's going to take the fight early here. He's very confident. Nice pick up on these Archons, but one of those do go down already.
And one of them is incredibly low in HP. Actually, all the Archons are so low in HP. A couple of Zealots could help out. How many gateways does Neeb has? He's got 4 gates, so he can wipe in 4 Zealots at a time. I feel like this looked really intimidating, but amazing cleanup so far by True. One of these Archons is going to get picked off as well. War Prism is forced to evacuate. True is down 8 workers, but he still got the gold, and he got a kill on this third Nexus of Neeb.
And MaSa, it might be in big trouble there. He was defending for the most part, but I think he might have just overextended a little bit. He's taking damage now. Maybe his first map loss of the tournament here. Coming up.
Even gods can lose, apparently, though.
He can bleed.
Nobody is invincible. Neeb is going to have to buy a little bit of time here with his with these Archons, because it's safe to say that Neeb absolutely cannot afford to lose his third base one more time, or he is done. He's out. He's eliminated. And for True, this must feel so
We
good.
got a picture-in-picture.
Oh my God, we got it!
The technology!
And at this time...
You did it, Poland!
I didn't. Man, Martin is the greatest. Our producer. Shout out to Martin. What a guy, Todd.
Man, well, this base of MaSa is quite depressing, though. Like, okay, I'll show you at the bottom right of the screen what happened. He was here with the tank and at the bunker there, but there was an Overlord here spotting on the high ground. And he moved his tank there and shot the Overlord with the Marine. And Scarlett biled the tank, killed it, and then got rid of the Marines. Basically is what happened. So now, I think Scarlett is in a pretty good position from there.
I think that True is also in a pretty good position. And if I'm Neeb, or if I'm a Neeb fan, I'm a little bit worried. He is getting a Forge, so this gives us obviously the idea that Neeb doesn't feel like he's super all-in or incredibly committed with this attack. But Todd, there's no Mothership Core here. If this army gets swarmed, I think it's going to be very hard for Neeb, as he does have a couple of force fields available. Well, 85 supply against 69. It all comes down to the engagement here. And these links, I feel like they showed up a little bit too early. This should be a really good fight for Neeb. That's a lot of Hydras though, Todd, but
yeah.
Force fields maybe?
Yeah, 2 force fields, 2 perfect force fields here. Might trap a lot of Hydralists. True actually quite eager to take this fight. No, he was baiting them a little bit. Neeb was a little bit timid with the first few force fields. Archon's attacking the hatchery. Yeah, he needs to just commit to one of those things. Maybe just make sure he gets rid of this base but then True just evacuated. So he kind of salvaged this position.
Going down that ramp, I think it's going to be a little bit harder. A lot of these Zealots get picked off immediately, but there's still a Guardian Shield and a couple of Immortals in the mix as well. This army of Neeb represents a lot of HP, and a lot of Zerg have gone down. But I think Neeb wants to wait a little bit for some extra reinforcements. I think Neeb's dream is still alive, though.
Yeah, he's killing a lot of Hydralisks. True, so he can't get to the critical mass here just yet.
One or two Archons may fall here, but actually these Hydras, like you said, they can be deceiving in small numbers. A few reinforcements showing up now for True as well. Neeb, you did all the damage that a man could wish for. I think it's time to go back. And I think he agrees with me. Don't forget, he got the kill on the hedge. He got quite a few drones, like 8 drones. Maybe a couple went down earlier, but you know, lost mining time. The only thing that's nice for True Thought is that this base is basically super fresh now. Like, it's just been taken, so it's gonna run for a very, very long time.
67 walkers for Neeb, 46 for True. I think if Neeb just sits back for a few minutes, let True catch up on the walker count, then he won't have the army to keep up with him. If he gets caught in the middle of the map here, this could be bad.
What is this one Archon? The flanking Archon? What is this Archon? He's holding down the line. He's picking up some
He's baiting the army to go down. He's the one staying behind, saying, I'll buy you time, run away.
Yeah, and I think that's Neeb, that's all that Neeb has to do.
That worked out pretty well, yeah, for him. +1 about to finish now.
Very big against these links that don't have any armor upgrades. They do have attack upgrades,
yeah,
as you can see, but they don't have any armor upgrades. So getting +1 is obviously pretty massive.
And True, again, he's going to attack, I think. He's just only making units. The entire series, he's been doing this thing, getting a ton of Hydralisks, getting some links to reinforce, no banings period. He's like, I'll get a critical mass and spit on you to death.
Yeah, Neeb should just back off right now and just take the best possible fight. There's no need for Neeb to be out here. Like, this army, he might clean it up, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have to fight here. He can buy some extra time, he can get some extra defensive warpins. He's actually going to go for an aggressive warpin.
That's going to force True to attack into him, I think. True's just walking back, really? Look at these guys on the beach. They're truly running on stand right now. They're very slow.
He doesn't even have the Hydra upgrade, though.
Yeah, that's why. I was like, why are these Hydras so slow? I know there is sand there, and running in the sand is not easy, but...
I think he just realized as well. I think True just picked up on it. He's like, my Hydras look really slow. I mean, they were just kind of getting their feet wet a little, enjoying this tiny puddle.
Yeah. Might be a good time to get muscular augments, yes. And then go for an attack, perhaps.
True is just the type of Zerg thought. I think that's gonna max out on Hydra Ling. 1-1 upgrades, no Bailing Nest. 40 drones, or 44. If there's no Storm, I actually believe that if you get a stupid amount of Hydras, you can kill Archon Immortal, right? If there's no Storm.
Yeah, but if Guardian Shields are there everywhere, like the Zerg army still dies very quick. And also, like, the supplies are close enough that I definitely give Neeb a good chance. Like, look at the army supplies, 95 to 120. And I think he should be catching up.
The problem with Archons, though, is that they have tiny arms, though. The T-Rex problem.
And they block each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of these Archons are gonna die one by one.
They have no reach.
I'm a little bit worried here for Neeb. Like, everything was going well for Neeb, and he's played a great game so far on Odyssey. And if he only gets, let's say, like 3 storms, I'm convinced he will murder the army of True. But I think they're going to fight before Storm is done. And yes, Zealots might even do more damage on the other side of the map. But the DPS of this Zerg army is going to be high. 48 Hydras against a lot of Archons. Here we go. And you can see this Protoss army thought. It's kind of getting picked up immediately.
Ooh, nice set of force fields here. He's going to buy Neeb a little bit of time. He's going to leave again. One Immortal behind to buy more time and try and regroup. But even if there are Zealots in this army, the problem is that they charge forward and die instantly. And he's... Okay, he has 1 sentry that's very healthy on energy and could go for 1 Guardian Shield and some force fields, but these warpins across the map are really not doing much just because True is consistently making a ton of units and reacting very quickly to them.
Yep. He's still on 44 drones, but he's got an... he already lost 218 links. A lot of Hydras are on the other side of the map, though. And this is going to be hard, I think, for Neeb. All those units are going to go down this ramp one by one. This is not a good fight at all for our American Protoss, whose tournament life is on the line. I'm very worried. He has a Dark Templar in the mix. Guardian Shield is being very useful there, but it does get picked up as well. All these Archons are done. How much can these Immortals do? I think this is it, Todd. I'm not sure if these Hydras are going to die. Where's the Overseer? The Dark Templar is doing so much damage.
He's trying to hold on, pulling the drones, pulling the probes. There's just too much. But this Mass Hydra is just insane. And True takes the win 3-0 and will be going over to WCS Valencia. We're not going to have Neeb there as one of the qualified players. He can still attend and play from Group Stage 1, but man, what a surprise. I've used the rewind feature here to show you guys the last few moments. Yeah, Scarlett was basically too far ahead and just cleaned up with Roach Ravager against the MaSa that was trying to get back in it, just kind of trying to, you know, macro back. He harassed over there with some benchies, but that got sniped. I'll just fast forward through the last few moments because I think they're waiting for me to start the next game. You can see Roach Ravager just completely power through, and apparently MaSa can bleed, and Scarlett take the map win here.
The Zerg so far bouncing back, Todd. I mean, obviously through with that impressive 3-0 victory. What a series. It's even hard to summon up that series or really summon up what we just saw. I just saw a Zerg on 44 drones making a crazy amount of Hydras. And, you know, the mix of Zealots, Archons and Immortals, it's really good against Ling Hydra up to a certain point. But if you're looking at 120, 130 supply of Hydras, you need Storms or Disruptors or some Colossus, anything that does a little bit of splash damage, because we said that these Archons, they kind of block each other, they run forward one by one and get picked off one by one, because the DPS is so high, like they almost get sniped like it's nothing.
You know, I think True did one thing super well, by the way, is that he mixed in different timings with this. In the first 2 games, he played a little bit more aggressive and was trying to hit before they would have been Storm, and even if they would have been Storm, then there wouldn't have been enough of something else. And then in the 3rd game, he basically made Neeb so scared that Neeb wasn't even considering Storm. He was like, he's about to attack any second now, any second. I'll be the one attacking. I'll get Archons. I'll finish him. And then kills the 3rd base, or like the gold base of True. True stays patient, evacuates. Just brilliant play all around. And then he just keeps on massing Hydralisks, hoping that Neeb, again, won't be going for Storm. Because if you reach Storm and a big army like Neeb had there, if he had like 4 High Templars with 1 Storm each, there is almost no way he will lose the fight, ever.
And I also think one thing that was incredibly crucial that game is that even though it always felt that all of True's units were in the middle of the map, he didn't take that much damage, right, of all those Zealot run-bys. And he made it look easy, you know.
That's very rare, right?
Yeah, exactly. Against someone like Neeb, who's like harassing your main, sending Zealots into the fort. You know, 44 drones is bad, but you can still produce units, you can still reinforce a tiny bit. If he drops, you know, into 25 or even lower than that, then obviously he's super committed, and there is a chance that Neeb holds, and the moment he holds, the game is super over. But True did a really good job in shutting all those harass attempts of Neeb down and massing Hydras. We can go ahead and jump perhaps into game number 4 real quick of our winner bracket match between MaSa and Scarlett, as we have loaded into Proxima Station.
Yeah, and MaSa in the previous game tried to go for the proxy that was spotted instantly, so needs to look out a little bit more if he wants to try anything like that again. And so far it doesn't look so.
You know, it always feels so sad to me, Todd, when I see yesterday Neeb having like those miraculous hero holds against Billy. You know, and now it feels like it was almost all for nothing. You know, it takes a little bit away of that magical game that we saw yesterday. Obviously still a decent run, and Neeb will still get some WCS points and walks away with $600. But obviously Neeb, you know,
he can still go, right? But he has to play from the very start of the tournament, which after a long trip, you know, it's not always the best.
It's good news for some of our local Spanish up-and-coming players, though, Todd. They might get Neeb in Group Stage 1.
Well, 2 players advance, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. You can advance together with your Protoss hero. Sounds like a good time to me. The next series that's going to be on my PC is going to be a very fun one. A rematch of the TESPA Collegiate Archon Tournament that Nathanias and I casted in 2016. The finals back then was at DreamHack Austin. Back
what
then
was
it
there
was
to win?
Sorry?
What was the prize for that?
It was like a scholarship prize, you know, so they didn't get cash money. But I think there was like at least $10,000 or $15,000 on the line for, you know, to pay off your student loans or to pay for your next semester. Yeah, it was actually a big tournament. It was a lot of fun as well. Nathan and I had a great time casting that little tourney. Back then, I do believe, though, it was Bills who was victorious. We'll see today. Bills versus Jon Snow. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to let them know that.
Yeah, we were talking about Bills as well at the start of the Challenger, but I don't think I necessarily would have, you know, seen him as one of the top 6 finisher in the tournament, but we did mention that at the same time, he's one of those guys that practices hard and has shown promise in the past. Like he's bound to have some breakthrough performance, and to be fair, one of them will have it there. Jon Snow or Bills getting the tickets definitely would be a big achievement, I think, for them.
Jon Snow hoping to repeat his performance of the WCS Yon Chopping qualifier, where he did make top 4. And for Bills, this would be a first, Todd. You're spot on. You know what it is, though, with guys like Bills? In the past, we've seen Bills play at a very high level, right? Like, I will always remember one night I was watching Polt's stream, and Polt ran into Bills 4 times, and Bills 4-0'd him. And I was incredibly impressed.
You never forgot that night, did you?
No, I was like, that's amazing, you know? Like, Bills is playing so incredibly well. The problem what it is, though, with players like Bills, is that we don't know exactly what's going on in their life, right? There might be times where he has to really work hard when it comes to his education, where he just doesn't have the same time. And then, like, it looks like he's in a slump or he doesn't have it anymore. But obviously, that's only normal, you know? Like, if you're also going to university, and some semesters are different than others, right? So there is a chance that for a while, Bills was perhaps a tiny bit busy. But it seems like he's back and he's ready to party.
Yeah, I remember actually when Bills made it to Battlegrounds Detroit through the satellites. He was like, I had to book the flights and stuff, and then his family was like really intent on trying to get him back on time for school. And I was like, yeah, oh my god, these guys lined up perfectly. What is going on?
A little bit of a drone massacre, that's what's going on. 11 drones. Wow.
MaSa getting the damage done early here, but somehow Scarlett still quite a bit ahead on walkers. But yeah, Bale's parents back then were not joking around with school. They wanted him to leave and get back on time, not to miss any. And I think I'm pretty sure that's still the case. It's pretty amazing though. I always feel like it's even more impressive when somebody is either, you know, walking, whether it's part-time or full-time, or going to school, and at the same time they're super competitive at a game. I feel like for me, I would have to be full-time to even have a chance to be competitive. So.
Yep. Here I am, Todd. Every single time I leave for a week or two to cast an event, I come back and I feel like I'm starting from scratch again. It's so hard to sit down.
You're not starting from scratch because you lose 300 MMR as you come back. So like you're going down, if anything. You have to rebuild. You have to break even.
Yeah. But like even WCS Austin, I believe, that of course just happened the other month. Bills was there. Do you know when Bills arrived to the tournament? Like he arrived
just before he started?
Yeah, he flew at 7 a.m. Arrived at like 11 a.m. in I think in Austin, and I think his first game was at like 12:30 or 1. You know, it was just straight from the airport to the tournament immediately. So that's why I feel like the community sometimes has to go easier on. You know, if one of those guys has a bad performance as well, it's like, you know, they're hustling and they're trying to do as good as they can, combining real life with gaming. And if anything, it's just impressive that they can compete at such a level, whether they always win or not.
Let's see here for Liberator on one of the more notorious map for it, can do some damage.
Scarlett's economy seems insane this game, even if those Hellions were able to get
slow
11
reaction.
drones.
Pulls the drones away, but there's going to be a lot of mining time prevented. That guy, did you see that fake? He just received in the same location. All right, Cristiano Ronaldo, don't get too far ahead of yourself.
MaSa just gearing up probably for a strong attack, as the armory is going to finish up soon as well, so you can start the next upgrade. Spire being thrown down now for Scarlett. Expecting to see more of what we saw before out of Scarlett. This time though, it does seem like she has a better economy than on some of those other games.
Man, I love that we got a picture-in-picture going if we need to as well.
Yeah, my series has started. And it may actually be worth it to jump over to my game real quick.
Let's do it.
If you're okay with it. Jon Snow versus Bills. First game on Sequencer. Martin, thank you so much. And we have double Overlord drop going on, Todd. But an overcharge was used actually and killed an Overlord with 8 links in it.
Wow.
So Jon Snow is going to try to link flood against Bills here. But losing this pilot, Todd, is the MVP pilot of the century.
Wow, look at the defense.
That's
not the supply for once. Actually, he's ahead in supply as well. 1 sentry died for all of this.
Yep.
Pretty flawless defense. Sure, he had to use 2 overcharges, but there is no imminent threat behind this. And delayed, actually very nicely, the Dark Shrine, which is still going to hit hard behind this.
Wow, I can't believe that Bills was so incredibly ready.
So Jon Snow made a big amount of links. Didn't do anything with them, so he has to drone up hard behind this. And he's not going to have Roach Tech against DT drop. This could be a disaster.
Good luck, have fun. You know what I love to see here, Todd? The double prism. I want to see 2 Archons on 2 sides. Micro them. Just pick up as many links as you can. Because like you said, if you open up with that many links, it's incredibly hard for a Zerg to get a Roach Warren out as well and produce Roaches against Archons. So often they'll just try... Ooh, picked up the Sentry. I was wondering what was up with that. And left it at home.
Put me down. Put me back there.
It's like, I'm a defensive unit, guys. There's a pylon going down here as well, Todd. So maybe we'll see some of that multi-prong harassment. Jon Snow is going to try perhaps to... I mean, the problem is he lost one of his drop lords and the other one is incredibly revealed.
Sentry warping at home to be extra safe. That's going to be one less DT warping across the map. How many gates is that total? I think I saw extra ones, right? Or no?
There's 2 gates at the moment, and 2 gates are about to morph into a warp gate.
So you can warp in 3 units there.
You know, I think Bills is right now wishing he would have brought that sentry down. Because he could have actually force fielded the queens out.
But he wouldn't have anything in the wall. Maybe he could have warped in at a depth there, then earlier.
You gotta be careful with this 1DT. Spore has finished up.
Minimal harassment though. I thought that was gonna do more. Here we are. If that guy targets drones, he's gonna trade for it.
Getting 2, 3, 4 maybe?
I mean, keep in mind, Bells is already ahead on the work account. Jon Snow sees this actually. He's not making any more units. He's making drones right now. He's running him ragged, as Scarlett would say, making him run all over the place.
I think this is going to be so hard, though. I mean, 30 links. Imagine if Bills wipes in a few more units here, which is exactly what he does. He can get an arc. I would have loved to see a second prism. These slow warp-ins are killing me, Todd. But I still love the way that Bills is keeping up the pressure here.
Yeah, he's going to... looks like he wants to apply way more pressure here with Archons in multiple places. Brought back the picture-in-picture here so you guys can see a little bit what's happening in MaSa versus Scarlett at the same time, because MaSa is attacking all over the place. I have a hard time keeping up with everything.
Well, there's a lot of StarCraft and there's a lot of multiple attacks as well. A couple of adepts shaded into the natural here. Trying to pick up a couple of these drones here in game number 1. If you feel like we're going to have an epic fight, I'm totally okay with switching.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
All right, so let's just switch over to MaSa's game for a little bit, because Bills Jon Snow is just game 1, and it's safe to say that Bills is in an excellent position here in game number 1.
As I say that, he starts heading home now. Okay. Yeah, MaSa, he's not slowing down anytime soon. Gets a few mutas here in the middle of the map. There's not that many Banelings again. Okay, as I say that, Scarlett's going to morph a whole lot. But these guys...
Oh my god, oh my god!
Goodness.
How many kills?
23. 4. And there's more behind. There's one where that came from. He's just going to keep on pressing forward more and more.
I think it's safe to say that MaSa is looking in a pretty prime position to perhaps win the upper bracket of WCS Valencia Challenger, and that is an amazing achievement for that young man.
That would guarantee him a top 2 and a 1-0 map lead in the grand finals coming up later. That would be our last match of the day. It's crazy how well he's dropping. Like, he's shifting and queuing medivacs all across the place. Scarlett's gonna lose patience and engage into this.
Off creep against this many Marines. Couple of mines getting decent connections there as well. MaSa also dropping in the back of the natural. Scarlett left a couple of links behind, but that doesn't seem enough. Scarlett does win this battle though on the north side.
Yeah, he evacuated, I think, with a lot. Never mind.
Well, the reinforcements are coming, Todd. It's almost the same. There's a couple of links. We'll finally be able to clean this up. But during Scarlett has 80 drone stud and she's making 6 more. Is he overdoing it?
Yeah, this is the number that we need to look at. Double the army supply. No! She left it! And it's coming back. Dear gods.
I love that army of changelings as well. The back of the natural for no reason. MaSa gonna apply more pressure on this port base. Wow, once again being incredibly annoying because the Mutas forgot to get the job done. GG! MaSa wins on Proxima, wins this series, and wins the upper bracket of WCS Valencia. Wow, what a run, Todd.
Yeah,